welcome, very, very welcome by this webinar to this awareness immersion, dissolve or repeats. I will put my glasses out because I see a lot of reflections. Beautiful metaphor for this whole immersion. My name is Amaya Yoni, and I'm super grateful that you are here. So I want to invite you first to take a breath with me if that feels okay for you right now. To take a deep breath in. So why I ask this and invite you for that is to let your body give a signal to arrive before your mind tries to catch up already. Because this space is not about fixing or performing or becoming, because you already are everything. This webinar in this space, it's about meeting the truth, meeting the truth of you, and underneath all the stories. And I know that you are not a beginner of this path, that you already did like a lot of work, like inner work, and that you know and feel and embody that you are the creator of your own evolution. So very welcome for that. And we are not going to manifest today. We're not going to fix. We are not chasing something. So if you are watching this, if you are here now to become or have like a lot of expectations about, okay, now I'm gonna let go of this and I'm gonna manifest all of that, and after this I am healed in all what is holding me back, then I really need to maybe disappoint you, because that's not the way how we are navigating. And the funny part is, yes, you are going to manifest that very much dream, desire, life, and everything what you know, even like more beyond what you ever dreamed about it. But we not do that with some tools or methods. We're not creating that. We don't put any effort to become that person of the future. And during this whole webinar, you will really understand why I say this to you right now. Because this webinar is way more like a mirror that shows you where your consciousness is already trying to lead you. And your consciousness is most of the time in the awareness, and the energy field is already there, and your mind and your body or your environment is the last part that will catch up. So most of us, most of the souls in this amazing human life experience is, they are keep looping. And maybe you know yourself that you have some loops that you feel stuck in or felt stuck in the past, but that's looping that are often not the big trauma stories. Also there, of course. Of course, the limited beliefs and the old self-sabotage and things that's coming from, most of the time, from when we were younger. And there are definitely attachment on. But if you are did already like a lot of inner work, if you have like the reflections already, if you know yourself and you move through life like you do, then a lot of souls are stuck in those micro illusions. They're hiding underneath like the surface of your own truth, like the subtle contractions, and I call them also like the unconscious calculations, like the unconscious program, but still is running, and it's very subtle, but that subtlety is still leading and letting your reality reorganize every time again. So in this space, we are going to fight everything, all those subtleties, all those, outdated programs that still are running unconsciously. And we are inviting them, all of them. The very, very subtle, the very maybe big, whatever. And why we are inviting them so much, it's not because we want to let go of them. No. It's definitely with the edge approach, and in a moment you will have more clue about what is the edge approach and how we can use that and how you can use that in daily life. What is super, super helpful. For me, it was amazing. Like the edge approach is like, you can use that for every situation or every part in your life. If you are standing in a life decision, if you are moving through personal situations where you feel stuck, if you're in relationships, then really this approach helps you to see what is there on the edge, what is there, and how to also jump off the edge, but not only jumping, like grounding and embody that. But I want to make clear that we are allowing and inviting all those parts, because when we allow everything, then we can choose to let it dissolve. And why it's very important to know that dissolving is something else than letting go. Because dissolving is something that will happen effortless as an outcome, because your truth is revealed. And letting go is something why people keep themselves stuck. It's true. It's like letting go makes you more stuck than ever. Okay, maybe I can just explain this with a short practice. And if there's any questions, you can put them in the app and I will come back to you later for that. And I also want to highlight that you always can reach out after the webinar. Okay, let's do a short practice. Yeah, what I want to highlight, what the difference is be between dissolve and letting go. So I want to invite you, if that feels right now, to close your eyes. Yeah, and just breathe into your body. Everything here is an invitation. It's never an obligation, and you are knowing exactly what your body needs, wants, and you can trust that intuition. So if I ask you or invite you to straighten your spine and you feel like, yeah, but that's not how I want to, it's okay. With every breath, you can decide what is aligned for me right now in this moment. And the people who know me, I also always invite with every breath, how can I make myself even 5% more comfortable? To keep inviting and to keep listening to our bodies. So ask yourself how you want to sit right now, or lay, or to be fully present in now. And this is maybe a practice you already know, but it's very accurate. So if you sit here and I ask you to not think or feel or focused on a pink elephant, just notice what your mind is doing. And for some people, they are more oriented in visuals. So if I ask you, don't see a pink elephant in front of you, some of you will see a pink elephant. Some of you have like an inner feeling inside of their bodies. So they don't really feel or see, or they don't see the concept of the elephants. They cannot go there, but they feel the elephant. Maybe some people, they have some memory with sounds, more oriented with sounds. Like, what is the sound? And it's not often that it's really that you hear then an elephant, but you can hear that there is an elephant in the room. Or smell, the senses, all the senses. Yeah, they have a particularly uniqueness to you. And most of the times you have one of the senses that is more involved, and you can also practice to expand all those qualities from the other senses. But yeah, so if I ask you about the pink elephants, I want to know just how fast you were there on that thing that I want to let you avoid. And this is what literally letting go looks like when you approach letting go like a task. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper, a layer deeper with this. And keep your eyes closed if that's okay for you. Stay with your breath. Now, because we are on the edge of the new year, bring in your mind one of the new year's intentions you have set in the past and broke down, like maybe in the first month or in the first 2 months, maybe a week later. daily meditation or the gym, a new habit, something that you really felt and say like, okay, I will finally let this happen, or an intention just in daily life. Just see it, feel it, smell it, hear it, or yeah, and without judgment, just like a remembering of like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's yeah, payments monthly to the gym. That was not worth it because yeah, after a month you never went again. And why was that happening? And it's not because we are not capable of holding that, not at all. But it's about that, so like a kind of intention itself, it secretly confirms your belief, a belief what your mind is feeding. So I am not there yet, or I need to become that. So instead of focusing on the intention, you are focusing on the distance. You are literally declaring that your future point, you need to reach that. And instantly, that means that your nervous system remembers the past evidence. And the past evidence, I mean, with your system are going to be like your mind. Yeah, so it means that I was not there and I did not this and I did not that. So if you try to let go that version of you who wasn't consistent, every time you say, I let go of that, you actually make it bigger. And you make it very hard for yourself. It's like you amplify the identity and you're trying to escape that. It's exactly the same example with the pink elephant. And we are doing this all the time, even in the subtle ways. The New Year's intentions are a little bit bigger because you really see when it's happening or not and the difference. So if you don't follow me right now, please drop an one in the chat so I can feel you and just see if there is some questions about it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So take a deep breath. Notice how you are knowing your truth already. Because change and evolution and transformation doesn't happen by chasing, by all of that trying to let go, because that's not possible on that way. Change happens by coherence, resonance, the truth. So dissolving and letting go, how we think letting go is by allowing what is real, by allowing what is true, not by manipulating what isn't. And this is such a beauty, to see the truth without any resistance, to let life, to let the feel, to let all the mirrors in your environment and all the mirrors, that it's everything. The nature is the mirror, all the people every day, the persons you talk to, the messages you get received of them, the WhatsApp messages, the Instagram you opened, it's everything is the mirror of your own inner self, your reality of that moment. And to see that truth without any resistance and let the field expose what is there underneath, then you drop the illusion without pushing it away. So you even allow all those illusions. And then you can ground in your system, in the presence of what is, not what you want to become or what was, but really about what is here right now. And then you will feel, what is the truth for me? And this just happens automatically. If everything is allowing and everything is coming, then what is not true will dissolve. And that's the point where we are really embody that energy, that magnetic field, that frequency. So instead of letting go all those things, we are saying, yes, come here. We are allowing the truth. And then we have like our soul and all our system are saying, yeah, but that's not really the truth. That's just a story. That's just an illusion. And that will dissolve. And then you remember. You remember the one you were always already. Also you remember the truth. And in that truth, that's your biggest evolution. Because there you are having an insane reality. And that you're creating. Take a deep breath with me if you want. I'm very curious, just can you give me some words in the chat? What is coming up right now for you? Okay, before we move on and we are diving in this amazing approach that really changed my awareness in daily life, I want to invite you, if you have more questions, more sharings, you can leave them in the comments in the webinar, or send a mail to teamamayayoni@gmail.com or connect@amayayoni.com. And also you can find me, like most of you, whatever I am. You can also reach out in socials. Okay, so now letting go, that doesn't work. So the whole concept of letting go is the moment that you try to let go of something. You will put attention to it. And everywhere where attention goes, it will grow. So even with a simple example with a pink elephant, it's not about a letting go. You don't dissolve any patterns by fighting them. You dissolve them by really seeing them so clearly. You allow them in every color they are, and then they cannot pretend to be true. And I will dive more into this. And before I will give you the full map of the edge, I want to give you the feeling of it, because everyone is standing on the edge. And the edge is like an identity, what is eventually outliving the truth. So, okay, I will repeat it again, because identity can be also like old stories, patterns, limited belief, subtle ones, whole changes. But identity eventually will always, you will outgrow them, the stories, because it's beyond, because it's never be and never meant to be the truth of who you are and who you am and who you always already are. Like, the path of self-realization is not about becoming more of who you think you are. The truth is about meeting the moment when all those false illusions, identities that once felt safe and protected you, can no longer, or fitting inside of you, of what you are, of what the truth is in this present moment for you. And I have been, many times in my life on this edge, and hopefully I will, because it's also the part of this whole human experience, duality. We are experience all those layers of, how do you want to call it, the evolution, the moving through things, because that's the whole game here. And then we have the consciousness, the awareness of remembering the truth, home. For example, I was like, I have many identities or stories that I believed in. For example, I really was the teacher, the one who thought that I needed to teach, the one who was like working in the government. Like my whole identity was moving around that, like the therapist there, or even the identity of the priestess. And I honor all those identities, and because it is really every identity, every story. And I use the word identity because it's like a big container. It's like then all those subtle belief systems, all those patterns are inside that identity. It can be also like only the subtle identities, or the subtle, things that are in the way of your truth. But every identity you will wear, or you are wearing, or you was wearing in the past, they are here for a reason, and like a uniqueness of your reflection, your capacity to embody that form. And you can only have access to those unique codes, to those unique qualities of that identity, or even when there's limited beliefs, things that you get stuck, that you have procrastination, for example. Even if we see that as just an archetype, as an identity, as an illusion, then you know that we need them, because development comes through that identity. And that's why we also hear is that we are constantly moving through evolution. And I want to make this more clear, that it's because it's like constantly happening. For example, how many of us were like changing, like radically changing from primary school to high school. I can relate to that. It's like a whole new personality. It's like almost that I was like waking up and okay, now I move different. I had a different language, different friends, different posture, maybe different survival strategies, because it was definitely a story that I thought that I needed to create. Or with traveling, you arrive somewhere and suddenly this new version comes online, comes alive. Like you feel like more freedom. Nothing is, it's a different version what you are there. And it's not that you are forcing something or that you pretend that you are that version. Of course, we can also wear a lot of masks, but that's also part of that identity. That's also part of you. Because you can say like, oh yeah, but that was pretending or fake, or yes, that's because everything is. But it is in that moment, it is you. I also catch myself, for example, with that I say, yeah, that's all old beliefs of me. But really, if they're old beliefs, they weren't now in this present moment. So it cannot be an old belief. Even when you say that, for me, is that a reminder? If I say or feel or use like, oh yeah, old beliefs and old patterns, that means, okay, those patterns are now in this present moment, in this current reality, and they don't fit anymore. I outgrow them. And this is also something that it's very helpful for, using the approach of the edge. Because it is right now here. We work with the present moment. There's not such a thing as the future of the past. And we just hold on to kind of attachments instead of allowing what is true right now. Okay, yeah. And also another example about identity shifting and about the edge is that many of you and many of the souls in the collective, the people are navigating life at this moment. Many of you are navigating between worlds. And what I mean with that is that you are navigating between the version of you, what you were, and then you're shedding skins and you know that that is not fitting anymore. But you also don't know what is there, what is the unknown. It's maybe like feeling that you are in a split, like two identities or different rhythms, different truths. Or sometimes it is that you are feeling like, okay, I know this is not fitting for me and this is. And that's beautiful. And many of you, they have like different worlds in work and home. How often I see in the workshops that I give and in the retreats that people are saying to me like, yeah, now I need to go back to the normal world. And I just saw them like in their most pure, truest self. Fully free, fully living the, the beliefs and ecstatic, and yeah, and they have another world, and there's no judgment. It's also their world, but it's not. It's like a separation what is created, and by already the awareness to know and say, okay, there's another world and I am moving through that. That's exactly the edge. It's exactly the between worlds. And that is exactly where the edge begins. So please let me know how this lands. So yes, apply like a 1 in the chat now, or if you fully with me with this. And also if you feel if you are navigating on the edge, or if you have experienced this.
So before we are diving into the edge, with daily practice, with very much some awareness, what is the edge, what is really, really helpful. I want to say, and that you know that the edge is not something to apply. It's not something that you are doing or that you're doing to make something better. No. The edge doesn't ask you to change, to manifest, or to make a lot of efforts in it. It's really when you meet truth so clearly, so clean, so allowing everything, that it becomes effortless, all the things and illusions that will dissolving. So I will here share my screen. So the edge methods approach is really based on your truth that also grounds you in your real self and activates a life that builds is from conscious love, clarity, and coherence. And why this is so unique is because the most methods, they are on mindset of approaches, they are emotions and or embodiment. And what this is all of that also, and all of the tools and a lot of other proven methods are woven in, but the edge works on identity level, on multidimensional identity level, to dissolve. And where you probably know and did a lot of improvements, inner work, it's always to achieve something. And the edge is more like an orientation, in a way that you can meeting your reality so clean that distortion or illusions cannot survive there, because you are facing yourself and you are remembering your own truth. So it will disappear what is not aligned for you. And then all those manifestations and all those dreams will just appear effortless because you are seeing it here right now. So yeah, the edge is really that it works without effort. You don't need to reach for the edge. You don't need to work for it. I guess with the examples before, you already feel that, yeah, suddenly you stood or was standing there on the edge. It's not something that you, yeah, that did a lot of work for it. And maybe it is with our awareness, but when we choose to be in that conscious field from heart presence and allowing everything without judgment, without wanting to let go, without improvements, achievements, everything, then you can play with the edge, can love with the edge. And you will see it's like almost time bending every time you move through an edge and layer. Like you can call it quantum leaps, timeline choosing, but it's even beyond that. But that's something that really will land for you. And remember when you are, maybe right here, right now already. So the edge. The first one is expose in truth. So it's illusions dissolving, but it's not because we say we're letting go. It's really because it's beneath the pattern. And when you bring every part in exposure and say, okay, come, bring it here, bring the shame, bring the anxiety, bring the fear, bring everything, bring all those things that you thought or don't want to be, just bring them. And it's different than focusing on those patterns to let go, because you create then a story around it more. But if you allow and just say, okay, this story is right here in this moment, I am allowing that to be, then that's the edge of, and you will feel that, or maybe I experienced this already, is then it won't grow and it won't be an attachment, but then you allow it and it will eventually dissolve because it's not in your truest alignment and your truth. The second one is drop behind. Can you see this? And that is drop and see behind. It's really like drop the mask, release resistance to what is. You bring everything, just every role, everything, but you're really like in surrendering. It's not like seeing anymore or allowing or giving. Love it like really like, okay, I drop it all. And not drop it again, like letting go. No, just drop it, surrender fully in that truth. And it will be more clear in the second practice. The ground in growth. This is really about anchor your essence, your coherence, the grounding, root in your truth. Like really in part of your nervous system. And it's so important. We are here on this ground, living here right now. And our nervous system needs integration. That's the last part. If you have all the layers, all your bodies, we have multiple bodies. I won't go dive deep in this theory, but your physical body is the last body when something like truth come down. And so maybe your energy field is already there, or your the layers of your sorry. I'm confusing the the other course that I'm giving, and then I wanted to use the word for it, but that's not necessary now. So if you, for example, already know something that was going to happen, you feel it already, you know that that's your future, or you know that this is going to be, or suddenly you need to that other direction. It's like also because you are already in that field, but maybe not your human life and body. So really the grounding is so important. And the grounding that gives growth. That's just like we don't focus on growth because growth is not, it cannot exist. Growth, evolution, and all those things is just a side effect and a symptom and benefit or whatever. It's if you step fully into that truth of you, and then you can see it growing, or maybe you can call it shedding. I am less that person that I thought I was, and I'm more me. Just like how you feel like it. And the E is embody. Embody in a union. That's really when we are letting weave in all of those aspects, all of those parts of ourselves. We ground. It's very, very much the grounding in the body, that the body has also received all those not new, but we teach our bodies to some codes that are not there anymore. So we need also to have like the time and the integration and the nervous system from, it's safe to go. And it's also on the edge because excitement and fear can feel the same. Growth, expansion, fear, anxiety, every change, positive or negative. You can, if you label something that you really want to do or not, that's positive or negative. And your body doesn't know the difference. So how many times we are staying in a safe place because you feel already some maybe fear. But the fear is just an excitement, or your body who is ready. Okay, this change. We are getting ready because we are dissolving. So we need to reprogram the whole system, the whole like AI, the whole awareness immersion of your system body to remember that truth and to move and flow from that truth. And embody is really also in relationships and intimacy, leaderships is like really aligning everything. So let's dive into some more practical simplicity, because really the edge is not something to explain, it's really something to live. I will share my whiteboards with you. Yes. Okay, this is the edge. So let's draw also the edge. The edge, where everybody is. And let's say, this is really the first exposure moment. And being aware, and maybe you already like a little bit more to the outside of the edge, because you are being exposed. So let's say you are standing here. And exposure, why is that? Is because you know that something is not really your truth anymore, and all the things are, you see it, the awareness. It's like really the place where you stop explaining, but you also know that there is, you're ready to allow what is ready to be seen. So here you see already the edge. You don't know what is there. It's super scary. You know that there is something that you outgrow. So you already know that there, the other way around, Let me do this. Yeah. There's something that you outgrown. And this way, yeah, is just on the edge. And identities dissolve. And this is the moment really like what is allowing to be seen. The first one, exposure. Like what is here allowing to be seen? Expose. So what I want to ask you is to expose. So really take a moment now and to feel in your edge, in your exposure moment. So that can be now a moment in your current life. What is there? What is ready to be seen? Or maybe it is already seen, but something that you know that is not aligned anymore for you. Some patterns, some old beliefs that actually are just in the present moment. So there are your beliefs. What is holding you back? What is you staying in your loop? What is there? And I will check if I have some questions because I really, it's super helpful to do those steps to to feel where your edge is. So the questions for this are this. What is actually happening in my life right now? What I am circling instead of meaning? And what I've not said out loud, but already know deep inside. So take a moment for this. Well, I am trying to be the whiteboard expert of Zoom. I will share this later also here, but you can read the questions more. Yes, thank you for. If you watch here the replay, just know pause the replay, pause the webinar, and give yourself also 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes to answer those questions. And even when it sounds like, oh, it's just an invitation, nothing is an obligation, of course. But writing down and really come to that truth. So what is actually happening on that edge? Just really make it something to expose. I don't ask you to share your story, what is your age and how you're living. And no, beyond that, beyond the stories, beyond, like, really give yourself that moment. Okay, so then what is happening then? I will do this for a moment here. Expose. Then we are dropping. And yes, if you see this beautiful drawing already, I think you can see what we are going to do. We are dropping. This is the drop. And what is the drop is not the letting go. If you already know from this whole webinar, this immersion is like, it's not about letting go. It is the dropping is what naturally happens when something false is being seen. You don't push for it. You don't remove it. You just stop protecting it. like the beautiful insights, like, oh, now I see that I do this all the time. Oh my God, this pattern is not helping me anymore. Okay. Yeah. And the dropping is naturally. It's like really like you stop protecting that part or the shame, or yeah, a lot of times there is in that drop is also like, yeah, a breakthrough insight. And yeah, sometimes people are mirroring each other. I do a lot of mirror sessions, and this is a big activation, because we are all mirrors from each other. And yeah, and like the clients that I worked with before, they always ask me like so many like, is this normal that we can move so fast? And this is like, I feel like so much changed and things. And yeah, that is very, very normal. It's just because you see it and you don't grab it, you allow it, and then everything is, yeah, they're really like reorganizing for you. And yeah, that's a beautiful way. So the drop there. Let me see if I can drop. Drop with another color. It is the drop. And the drop is really like things that you also were carried, and what's, yeah, what is not your job, or what is things that doesn't feel aligning. So I give you also some questions. What would fall away if I stopped negotiating with this? What I am tired of carrying? What no longer needs my energy? And again, really drop into that edge moment. Like, okay, I'm standing on the edge. I know backwards, that was not really fitting. So what do I need to drop? What is not there in alignment with me, with my truth? And for here, take also some minutes now. Give you 5 minutes for tapping in. You can always take longer or journal after this webinar. Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And we go further to the grounding. You already see, of course, that we are, after the exposure, after the dropping, we are to the ground. Ground, like grow. Now I really want to say those both because oh, okay, this is you on the ground. This is the moment of really landing in your body. It's like the nervous system is settling, it's their space again, but also the moment of like, okay, I am here now, grounding, and I'm fully open to what is true. What is true? So this moment, that's also like the grounding and grow. They're like also different phases inside. Because after the grounding, then you will feel that there's part for growing. So this is you as very much blooming. But at first, this phase we need, and we don't know if we start here, and I mean here, if we start here, exposing, then, and I know this for myself, I want to be knowing what is here before I jump. So I like to expose, and I really love that. That's also how I earn money, even it's my job, it's my daily life. But exposure, I can see that also in me and a lot of clients of me, is that when I expose and standing on the edge, I want already know what is here growing. That's just for safety. I think that I can control something, but that's not the point. You don't know what is there. You cannot know. If you stand here, it's not possible. Because you need to drop, and this is the moment that you have space, for real, your truth. So even when you can imagine it, even when you know it, and even when you feel it, and maybe it will be the same, maybe. But because we already want to be from here to here, we interrupt the whole process, the whole truth. Because, for example, for me, like a couple, not even so long ago, I was working on this beautiful project, and that was not aligned anymore for that moment. And it was also like some ego death there. But I thought, okay, let's cool down. I don't want to do now. I need to, be. And the moment that I was like super, first exposure, not aligned, I dropped it. Literally, this was very materialistic also, but also there was like, I put so much effort, and it was coming from something that was not fully my truth on that moment, the behavior that I was showing. So I needed to drop all of that. Then I was on the ground, and I thought, I'm on the ground, I'm gonna chill here. I need some chill, because I also was moving, and I did like so much renovations. I built boats and a lot of stuff going on. But instead of that, I was there, and it was very aligned. Right away, I had space, and there came so much like pressure, not pressure, but like the yeah. Sometimes I search for words that can explain what I feel, but it's like the treasure, I received all of like downloads and channelings, and I was in the growing, in the blooming phase. Well, I thought I'm here on the ground, and let me be on the ground. But because I was like so open, and so there was starting to come things, and that was super aligned. And it was not effort, and it was not doing, and it was not, it was action, but not action. It was motion. I was into, from the outside, it can be sometimes see like action, but the difference between action and motion. Life is in motion. When you surrender and stop doing, you still will be flowing in motion and do actions, not that you just only be on the ground. And so, then for example, if you are in life transitioning with work, with a partner, a lot of people, they are grabbing already, okay, I need to have knowing what I'm going to do after this. But that's not possible. First, you need to go to the ground. You really need to go to the ground after you drop that. After you expose, for example, work, you expose that it's not aligned anymore. But you don't have a new job ready. And if you do that, then you also block the process of your ground and your spaciousness. Okay. If everybody following me, then please put an one in the chat. Yes. I'm super excited of this super easy approach, but so, yeah, touching the truth of you, your uniqueness. So till here, we know now, okay, it's like identities, the illusions, something, it's like outgrowing. The truth is becoming more and more. And we stand on the edge. Then we go to the drop and drop all like what is not aligned, and not by letting go, but just by allowing, okay, this is what it is. This is me. This is me in this moment with this, all those beliefs and all those patterns and all those things. Then first you need the grounding, the full surrendering before there can be something else. And I think a lot of you know this phase very much because we are shedding skins and shed skins on planetary scale. And that's amazing because this is the moment also to really go for that grounding, to grow from truth and alignment, and not from exposed to grow, because then we start over again. Then we need to go back to exposed, and then it's not fully your truth. Or maybe it is. I just give some examples, and yeah, I see and feel, and also with all the work I do, is that those drop and ground that is really like underestimated. And definitely if you're somebody who is like conscious, because that's also like, yeah, I'm conscious, so I yeah. And yes, give yourself that truth time. And not time, I mean space. Because it's not about, okay, you need to have like a 1 week of doing nothing, or 1 day being all by yourself, or months that you are moving through. Yeah, no, because time can be in a half moment. It doesn't matter. It can be very fast, can be very slow in human concepts. But first you need to make space. That's definitely the truth. That's otherwise there cannot be your fully alignment coming in. Okay, let's go to the embody and expand. Oh no, I will give you first some questions. I will go back to my notes. And then you can also dive in those. Where do I feel more space right now? So where do you feel space? Where is the grounding? Where are you already after the exposure, dropping, grounding? Where is that? And what does my body need to feel safe in this truth? Because safety in this truth and giving yourself that nervous system confirmation of, okay, it is safe. Let's go. Let's go. Let's not even let's go. It's like, okay, God, I am here and I'm open to receive in the unknown and to surrender. Take me life. Take me. Not I take life. Let life take you. And then you can bloom. Okay, I give you also 5 minutes now for this exercise. Okay. So yes, thank you, thank you. And also for the ones who are watching the replay right now, please share your answers. Yeah, we really would love to. And also it's very powerful to share because words also have like an energy field. And if we are diving into the concept of intention, then the truth in words is for me the most intentional thing you can do to manifest or to expand, to yeah. Okay, embody and embodiment and expand. This is when where your truth is living, when your truth, and even if that is another identity because you are receiving that uniqueness, the codes, but really in the truth. So not that moment like blooming. I'm still like, don't know how to do this. But really that is, yeah, some like a habit that you had a habit before, but now you cannot even think about it that you do it different, or it is just automatically like driving a car or yeah. I just was thinking about my very good direction skills. If I drive a car, I don't have direction skills. If I'm just out of the car and I need to feel my intuition, I know exactly where I need to go. So that difference is also funny to see. Okay, and expand, but embody is ears first embody, and that's the side effect is expanding. It's like growing. And I call it also a lot of times inspansion because it's not something that we can always see on the outside. That was the last part of it. But inspansion, there is something, truth is expanded. And that's the expansion. But expansion is most of the time, yeah, connected with outside of external things. So, and I need to let on the time concept of time. Otherwise, I can talk about this forever. Yeah, and let's do this then really more here because I feel so. Do you have a nice something from here on? we are on the end or beginning of the edge of this awareness immersion webinar, and I'm super grateful that you were here. And if something shifted, it is because truth was met, and not because we added something or we put some effort in it. It's really that you don't need more information. It's like a reflection. The truth reflects inside of you. And that's why you are here. That's why are you watching this right now. And if you feel in the edge in your life, in transitioning, and you want to dive deeper with that, you can sign up for the mirror session. This mirror session is personally with me. I have a couple spaces each month, and one of those spaces, a couple, I do every month for free. It's a free full session, and it will activate the truth deep. So you can apply for that, or just book it right away, and you will be met in your own truth. If you are feeling that you don't want to be activated, that you're not ready there yet, then this session is not for you. It's really, if you're already on the edge, in this session, you will drop to the ground. So the exposure, dropping, the ground and growth. And I would be honored to be a part of that expansion, the embodiment of you. And also the core offerings I have for you is the dissolved pathway. And yeah, if this is aligned for you, and I truly, truly believe if you are watch this to the whole end, then there's a soul calling, there's something, and life will be asking you to follow that pathway. But this whole webinar was not like a marketing
We are
talk or
on the end
asking you,
come
inside this amazing pathway. But not even is a program, because program is so outdated.
And
A
I'm
pathway
super
is
grateful that you were
not something
here.
that you begin and end.
If
No, this
something
pathway
shifted,
is just
it is
your reflection,
because
and we work
truth
with the
was
edge.
met, and
But
not because
if you want to have more information, you can check the
we
website.
added something.
The doors are almost
or we
open,
put some
and
effort
every
in
cycle it
It's
will be
really
again
that you don't need more
for
information.
you can
It's like a
apply for
reflection.
it.
The truth reflects inside of you.
Yeah, then
and
we
that's
can
why
meet
you
in
are here.
truth.
That's why are you
If you have more questions, you know
watching this
where
right
to
now.
reach out, send a
And
mail
if you
or
feel
comment
in the edge in your life, in transitioning, and you want to dive deeper with that,
thank you.
You can sign up for the mirror session. This mirror session is personally with me. I have a couple spaces each month, and one of those spaces, I do every month for free. It's a free full session, and it will activate the truth deep. So you can apply for that, or just book it right away, and you will be met in your own truth. If you are feeling that you don't want to be activated, that you're not ready there yet, then this session is not for you. It's really, if you're already on the edge, in this session, you will drop to the ground. So the exposure, dropping, the ground and growth. And I would be honored to be a part of that expansion, the embodiment of you. And also the core offerings I have for you is the dissolved pathway. And yeah, if this is aligned for you, and I truly, truly believe if you are watch this to the whole end, then there's a soul calling, there's something, and life will be asking you to follow that pathway. But this whole webinar was not like a marketing talk or asking you, oh, come inside this amazing pathway. But not even is a program, because program is so outdated. A pathway is not something that you begin and end. No, this pathway is just your reflection, and we work with the edge. But if you want to have more information, you can check the website. The doors are almost open, and every cycle it will be again for you can apply for it, and yeah, then we can meet in truth. If you have more questions, you know where to reach out. Send a mail or comments here. Thank you.